Welcome to the Live to 110 podcast. My name is Wendy Myers, and you can find me on liveto110.com. And you can find this video podcast on the corresponding blog post or on my YouTube channel, Wendy Live to 110. So please go there and subscribe. Today we have my friend Tyson James Lee on the podcast. He's one of the highest paid online fitness trainers online, and he is going to be talking about how to increase human growth hormone and how that is essential if you plan to lose weight and get fit and get jacked and get ripped and be your best self and get in the best shape of your life. He's in incredible shape, and he did it all naturally just by using these simple natural techniques we're going to talk about on the show to increase human growth hormone. No injections needed. Please keep in mind that this program is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease or health condition and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Please keep in mind that this program is for entertainment purposes only, so please consult your healthcare practitioner before engaging in any treatment that we suggest today on the show. And just a little bit about my own story with weight loss. I have been trying to lose weight the last few months, and I employed many of Tyson's techniques, and as a result I have lost 20 pounds in the last about 2.5 months, and I've seen incredible results doing the sprints that he recommends and taking certain supplements that we're going to talk about today on the show, and just really cleaning up my diet. I really decided to really follow my own advice and get serious about cutting out all sugar and really cutting out most grains except corn that I'm not sensitive to, and really getting serious about my own health goals, cutting out dairy. And as a result, very, very pleased that I've lost 20 pounds, and I have about 10 more pounds to go that I plan to lose. And I feel very hopeful because I know I struggled for a while with my own weight, and working all the time, and running an online health website is when you're working 18 hours a day and drinking coffee and not exercising, it's not really that healthy. Trying to get all of you guys healthy, so I decided to do a few biohacks that Tyson recommends, and I'm really pleased with the results. Really, really happy. So I wanted to have him come on the show. Tyson James Lee, our guest, has been training clients for over 7 years and has a bachelor's degree in sports medicine. He was a personal trainer for many years. On June 1st, he launched his own company called TyFit. Tyson is now one of the highest paid online trainers in the world. TyFit is a company built on delivering the truth to the world about nutrition and fitness. The goal is to have a direct impact on the obesity epidemic in America. TyFit teaches weight loss, muscle gain, injury recovery, anti-aging, and ultimate human performance. Tyson spends countless hours researching and trying the most effective ways to achieve your ultimate body of health. Tyson's clients lose an average of 30 pounds in 3 to 12 weeks, and I'm definitely a poster child for this as well. Tyson has overcome several career and life-threatening injuries, from a strep A blood infection that left him a crippling blow out 3 discs in his back. Each time being forced to discover more effective ways to achieve peak performance without putting severe stress on his body. After each injury, Tyson has come back bigger, stronger, and faster, only gaining a wealth of knowledge in the process. And I think it's fair to say that Tyson defied all the odds to get where he is standing today, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his story. Due to his passion for helping the world, he has taken his life's knowledge online in hopes to have a greater impact that stretches across the globe. Tyson, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Wendy, thanks so much for having me.
Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and how you got started in fitness?
All right, so I got started in fitness about 7 years ago. My freshman year in high school, I was 4'10", 89 pounds. There was not a female that was smaller than me. So, a lot of people are like, well, have you ever had a weight issue? Do you even know what it's like? I didn't have a weight issue. I had an underweight issue. I know what it's like to be unhappy with the way that you looked. And so growing up as a really, really tiny guy, when I reached full height, I was 5'8", 130 pounds, and I got really tired of being the small guy. And I got into fitness about 7 years ago, just kind of like anybody, started going to the gym and, taking $20 whey protein from Walmart. And as I continued to progress through it, I really found a passion and a love for it. And I really decided to dedicate my life to learning all the fitness knowledge that I could and staying up to date with the latest research. So a lot of where my heart is I see, there are millions of Americans spending thousands of dollars on personal training, supplements, fad diets, whatever it may be. And the truth of the matter is a very, very small percentage of them are actually achieving their goals. And so most trainers would look at the client and say, well, you're not working hard enough. You're not staying on track enough. Well, where I'm at in my life now is I take full responsibility for everything. So I looked at us as a fitness industry, and I thought, what are we doing that's ineffective for people when these people are spending their money and working hard? So I really dedicated my life to research and finding the most effective ways to achieve your ultimate body health.
Oh, nice. So you developed a fitness program developed around improving the amount of human growth hormone that you produce. Can you tell us exactly what human growth hormone is and why we want more of it?
Yeah, so human growth hormone is the fountain of youth, so to speak. It's also been recently termed as the fit hormone because HGH literally does everything in your body that keeps you young, healthy, vibrant. And so when we're young, when we're children, the production of HGH in the body is actually what allows us to grow to full maturity. And so I got really interested in this idea. And around the age of 30, we go through what's called somopause. And that is the decrease of HGH in the system. And that is when the first phase of aging takes place, which is called hormonal aging. When our metabolism starts to slow down, we start to get some wrinkles. We're just not quite as vibrant as we were when we once were young. Well, when I found out about exercise-induced human growth hormone, and I literally found out that we can reverse and freeze that part of the aging process, it was incredibly intriguing to me. Not to mention that, it packs on muscle, strips fat, and has a wide variety of so many benefits. Obviously, what I tell people is the real celebrity secret is HGH injections. So celebrities have been getting HGH injections for years at around $15,000 a year to get these monthly injections. Now, that's why you have 50-year-old celebrities that look 30 or 35, right? And then you get marketed to on the side of your Facebook feed with this new celebrity secret or celebrity workout or do what the celebrities are doing. The truth of the matter is, Wendy, is that celebrities are getting HGH injections. Now, synthetically, it does have quite a few side effects. And when you release it naturally, it doesn't have any side effects. So with this very particular type of workout, now there's a lot of things that I incorporate into increasing HGH in the body naturally. This specific workout has been shown to increase HGH on average by 771%.
Wow.
That mimics injections. So the idea is to mimic these injections. Now, the greatest part about this, Wendy, is it takes less than an hour a week. And so you have all these people spending all this time in the gym. If you're working out effectively the way that we should, then you're not going to have to make that kind of time commitment. So to give you an example, if you go and you watch children on the playground, right? You go to your local park and you see these kids playing. What do? Right? They run as fast as they can with their buddies, chasing, playing tag, whatever they're doing. And they don't stop until they're completely exhausted and they repay the oxygen debt. Well, as soon as they recover, what do? They take back off again. This is how God intended us to move. This is how we instinctually move as creatures. And by doing this, we release human growth hormone. Now, after high school, if we don't go on to collegiate athletics, we stop this high-intensity movement. And because we stop this high-intensity movement, the amount of HGH that's secreted into the body drops an incredibly large amount. So the key to being young is to produce the same hormones that are in your body when you're young. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but hormones are really the mechanisms and the control for your entire body. And they're responsible for if you're overweight, underweight, happy, sad, hungry, not hungry. They literally dictate and control everything in the body. Now, what's beautiful is HGH is kind of like the mother nature of hormones. It is the ultimate regulator. When HGH is high, it regulates all other hormones, all other thermostats in the body, keeping your body functioning the way that it was meant to function.
Yeah, and so can you tell me a little bit about what your anti-aging workouts look like?
Yeah, well, first off, I do give the workout away for free. So you can go to theactionboss.com and get a free copy of that workout. So there's sprint workouts. Now, if you look at a marathon runner, right? He's really tiny, thin, almost frail looking. And you look at Olympic sprinters, they are literally ripped. And they're not in the gym a whole lot.
I always wondered why they were so
Yeah.
ripped when you think
Well,
they're runners. Yeah.
so there was a big controversy, Wendy, about 10 years ago. And the controversy was that Michael Johnson and all these world-class sprinters were testing positive for HGH. And they were like, okay, all these world records are shot. All these guys have been doping. And then they come to find out that the workouts that they're doing are actually mimicking human growth hormone injections. And that is why they look so phenomenal, right? Increasing muscle, stripping fat. It is absolutely remarkable. So these workouts are very similar to what Olympic sprinters do. Now, people say sprint and they automatically think about running as fast as you can. Well, the workouts that I teach, it's not about what you're doing externally. It's actually about the way you work the internal system. So I teach my clients how to do these 4 different ways. One on a piece of cardio equipment, one sprinting, one in a 4x4 box, and basically that they can do anywhere, and then also one in at-home workout, basically. And I also teach some people to do this with weights. So my whole theory is hitting the 4 thresholds of HGH release. And to do that, sprinting is the most effective. Obviously, our legs are the biggest muscles. And so by using our legs, we're able to really tire ourselves out. So the normal sprint workout would be 8 30-second sprints with 90-second breaks. Now, these intervals have been shown to be the most effective for HGH release. Also, you can do it on a piece of cardio equipment, on a bike, 30-second sprints, 90-second breaks. Now, the cool part about it is the sprints when you're running. Sprinting on pavement or ground or on a track has to be probably one of the most physically tiring things that you can do. So the sprints don't always have to be 30 seconds. What we're trying to do is during the sprint, we're trying to hit 4 specific thresholds. Now, the first threshold of HGH release is raising your body temperature 1 degree. Now, any warm-up can do that. I'm in Southern California. You go outside and your body temperature raises 1 degree. So that's the first threshold that we hit. The second threshold is the lactic threshold. Now, you guys have all been doing push-ups or some sort of workout where your muscles just start to ache or start to burn. And even though you are mentally pushing 100%, your body still starts to slow down. So this is the lactic threshold, and this is the threshold that is, they're all important, but this is the one I say is the most important. 15 minutes after we hit the lactic threshold is when GH is released from the pituitary gland into our body. Now, each time you hit this threshold, 15 minutes of HGH is coursed into your body, basically enough that courses through your system for 15 minutes, giving you a synergistic window where it's eating fat, packing on muscle, and effectively healing the body and doing all the things HGH does. The third threshold is the oxygen debt, which was what I explained with the little kids running. When you're done, if you're not if you're not sucking wind, panting, and trying to repay that, then you didn't go hard enough. Now, when you hit all these 3 thresholds, a mechanism goes off in the body called the adrenal response. Now, the adrenal response is the same response that happens in the body in fight or flight mode. Now, have you guys ever seen those crazy YouTube videos where some guy that's 100 pounds overweight, goes and lifts a helicopter or a car off somebody in that, in that fight or flight instant? So we were basically created with this fight or flight mechanism to allow us to gain strength and go through short periods of high intensity in situations of danger. And this is what we trigger in the body when we run like this, this danger situation. Now, after the adrenal response is hit, that's when we release HGH out of the body. So 4 thresholds. Now, I teach my clients to hit these thresholds where they're lifting weights, to hit these thresholds in any type of physical activity, because sure, you burn calories when you work out, right? But there's really no benefit that you can get like HGH in the system. So if we gear our workouts towards continuing to hit these 4 thresholds and release GH, we're going to see a world of difference in the results that we're getting.
Yeah, I did that. I have a trainer that I work out with, and he always starts with 15 minutes of doing high intensity interval training where he's torturing me.
Yeah, so
doing that. But it's great. I mean, you feel great when you're doing it.
Yeah, so I'll just so everybody here can actually walk away from this podcast and be able to go do them. So they are very intense. So if you haven't moved at full speed for a long time, you definitely want to start with 3 or 4. I start my clients with 4. Definitely start them on cardio equipment to build up the fast twitch muscle fibers. If you're going to start going full out sprinting on a track when you haven't done it for a while, you're probably going to sustain an injury. So there are 8 rounds at full capacity. What mimics injections is 8 rounds. And so it'll be a 30-second sprint followed by a 90-second break. The 90-second breaks are incredibly important. I usually start my next sprint at about 88 or 89 seconds. I have an interval timer that goes off in my head. Now, like I said, a 15-minute synergistic window each time you hit the 4 thresholds. The entire workout of 8 sprints, it's a 2-minute workout. It's 16 minutes of working out. It's only 4 minutes of movement and then a cool down, and you're done. And you get all these amazing benefits. So when I'm sprinting, it tires you out so much that I only time the breaks. I don't time the actual time I'm sprinting. On cardio equipment, you almost generally need to go 30 seconds to hit those points. With sprinting, I can hit those thresholds in about 22 to 23 seconds. As soon as I hit the lactic threshold, I push on for another 3 or 4 seconds, and then I come to an end and I time, my breaks. So it's really amazing. Start with 4. And if you're going to start with 4, what I'd recommend is that you do a 2 to 3 minute jog to warm up the hamstring, then do 2 sprints, maybe starting at 40%, building to 75% to really warm up your legs and your fast twitch fibers. And then you can go ahead and do 4 sprints with 90-second breaks. Each week, you want to increase by 1. So then you go to 5, then 6, then 7, then 8. This workout can be done 3 times a week. Fast twitch muscle fibers take twice as long to heal in the body than slow twitch muscle fibers. On average, slow twitch muscle fibers take 24 hours to heal. Fast twitch take 48 hours to heal. So we definitely want to give our body enough time to recover before we go on. I tested this theory. I did sprints 4 days in a row. By the 4th day, I was completely drained, and it was just not even beneficial. So you're like, what's he talking about? Fast twitch fibers, slow twitch fibers, this. This is why this workout is so benefit. Slow cardio, you work your aerobic system. High intensity, you work your anaerobic system. Slow cardio, you work your slow twitch. High intensity, you work fast twitch and super fast twitch. Now, your fast twitch muscle fibers are responsible for up to 50% of the muscle fibers in your body, Wendy. And after high school athletics, we stop using them. It's crazy. Now, you've heard of marathon runners dying of a heart attack. Never has a sprinter ever died of a heart attack, and this is why. So a lot of people are like, well, I'm afraid to move as fast as I can, and I'm going to explain to you guys why it's safe. So your aerobic system and your slow twitch muscle fibers are not on an equal playing field, meaning you can build one without building the other. You can strengthen your slow twitch fibers without strengthening the aerobic system of your heart. You can't do the same thing with fast twitch fibers. So it's amazing. Fast twitch fibers move 5 times faster than slow twitch, and super fast twitch move 10 times faster than slow twitch. So what happens is that anytime we're moving 5 times faster or 10 times faster to activate those muscle fibers, to do that, we're actually working the anaerobic capacity of our heart, meaning that they're on an equal playing field. One can't get stronger than the other. So your body simply will not allow you to push harder than your heart can handle. So it's beautiful. There's actually a mechanism that the Mayo Clinic found in some research in 2012 that when you hit the adrenal response, you have a protective mechanism in your heart that allows you to push as hard as you can for about 30 seconds at a time. This was put into our body instinctually because of the fight or flight mechanism. And so when we are in those danger situations, regardless of our health, we're able to push at full intensity. So what do you get? You get to work your slow twitch, your fast twitch, and your super fast twitch muscle fibers all in one workout. Now, the sprints are so intense that you do hit the anaerobic threshold of your heart. Well, as you're repaying the oxygen debt, and this is why the 90-second breaks are so important, your heart never falls below the aerobic threshold. So you're working your heart aerobically and anaerobically at the exact same time. So they're actually training marathon runners with sprint workouts. For years, it used to be 3 decent sized runs a week, and then one long run on the weekend for distance training and marathon runners. Now they're actually doing the 3 sprint workouts a week with one long distance run during the weekend. And marathon runners are continuing to improve. World records are continuing to be broken, and we're continuing to get faster because as trainers, we're always evolving and developing and becoming, better at what we do.
So I heard that, after you're getting all hot and sweaty doing all these sprints, that you recommend cold showers.
I do.
to increase your human growth hormone.
Yes. So, well, it actually has been shown to increase testosterone by 10%. Also, cold showers are remarkable for recovery. So after leg day, I'm lucky I live by the ocean. After leg day, I run to the ocean and I jump in for about 5-10 minutes, and it really speeds the recovery process. Also, it has been shown to turn white fat into brown fat. So for those of you guys don't know, white fat is the fat that's stored on your body. Brown fat's also stored on your body, but brown fat is able to be broken down by your body, used as energy, and it turns into glycogen into the ATP pathway. So we're actually able to use brown fat for energy. Taking cold showers increases the amount of white fat turning to brown fat 15-fold. So for instance, if you were not to change your exercise program or change your diet, just by implementing cold showers, somebody would lose an additional 9 pounds of fat each year.
Wow. Yeah, I need to jump in the ocean. I live by the ocean too, but I'm always too chicken to go in because it's so cold. 'Cause I'm no hero. Yeah.
Well, the cool thing is too is if you enjoy your warm shower, the whole premise of taking the cold showers is literally to cool your body temperature down. So enjoy your hot shower for 5-10 minutes and then just blast it on cold. And you want to blast it on cold until you start getting goosebumps and your body temperature cools down.
Can you do intervals with that? Like do hot, cold, and then hot, cold?
I've heard about that, but I haven't implemented that.
So you just do the cold for a couple minutes, basically 1 to 2 minutes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and so what supplements can you take to, enhance the release of human growth hormone, or what supplements do you use with your clients?
Okay, so we'll get into how to release more of it out of the pituitary gland. So the average person holds 0.4 to 1 gram of HGH in their backstory. It's released out of the pituitary gland. Well, it's like a mother's breast milk. So when a mother stops breastfeeding, the milk dries up. The more that she breastfeeds, the more that she produces. HGH is the same way. Our body's amazing like that in its ability to adapt. So the more that we release, the more that we hold. Now, think about it. Only zero point 0.4 to 1 gram of HGH for the average person. We have the ability to hold up to 10 grams. So after you have completed progressing all the way through these workouts and have been doing them for 8 to 12 weeks, you are actually going to increase the backstore of HGH, Wendy, meaning that these workouts at the end are 10 times more effective for you than when you start. So the real results start to come after about a month. So when I do sprints, if I'm going to release 10 times more human growth hormone than those who don't usually do them. Now, L-arginine is directly responsible for opening up the pituitary gland. So I take 1.5 grams of L-arginine and arginine and 2 grams of L-glutamine 25 minutes prior to the sprint workout. Well, as we do high intensity or any working out for that matter, our glutamine stores drop. And when our glutamine stores drop, we lose our ability to produce HGH on the level that we're looking to produce it. So by taking the glutamine, as soon as your levels start to drop, that supplement's going to hit the body. They're going to raise. You're effectively going to release more human growth hormone. So these are the supplements that you take prior to the workout. Right after the workout, you're going to want to take 25 grams of whey, which has also been shown to increase HGH production. No sugar in the whey. You want to take organic, hormone-free whey, any kind of whey that's coming out of Australia and New Zealand, only 2 places where it's still illegal to infuse whey with hormones. So the FDA doesn't require that we put the hormones in whey, but I'm telling you, it is so full of hormones, you guys. If you get to go organic and all natural with one product, it's going to be whey.
Of course, it's the one product the FDA is not regulating. They're pausing.
Yeah. So 25 grams of whey protein, preferably some protein that's sweetened with stevia or not sweetened at all, because any sugar 2 hours after the workout, while you have your synergistic window of HGH, completely cuts HGH production. So that's another reason the American diet is so full of sugar that we have really cut our ability to be able to release HGH, Wendy. No high-fat meals 2 hours before the workout. Now, when I'm talking high-fat meals, I'm talking a Big Mac. I'm not talking, a little 3-ounce piece of salmon or something like that. I'm talking high-fat meals. That will also stop the production of HGH. So those are the supplements for the workout. Now, I'm a huge fan of IGF-1, insulin growth factor 1, which is the best form you can get is deer antler. Now, it's a more expensive supplement, but you get for what you pay for. If you're going to buy a $20 bottle of IGF-1, it's not going to be really effective. Well, IGF-1 is the precursor, so to speak, to HGH. The more IGF-1 that you have in the body, the more you're able to produce HGH. So almost everything that I teach is geared towards releasing HGH. Why? Because it's effective for weight loss. It's effective for muscle gain. It's anti-aging. It's good for recovery. It actually thickens your skin by 7% and fills in wrinkles by over 60%. Repairs organs at a faster pace. So I've dealt with massive amounts of injuries in my life, and doing the sprint program was actually one of the ways that I was able to come back from my injuries incredibly fast. IGF-1 is actually illegal in like the NFL now because people have been taking it for injury recovery. It speeds up the speed that your body recovers at. So it's phenomenal.
Yeah, IGF-1 is also essential in recovering from osteoporosis and
Yep.
growing bone mass and things like that. And conversely, people who have high blood sugar or diabetes have low levels of IGF-1.
Yeah.
So just interestingly enough. So are you interested in using creatine at all?
I'm not.
No? Why not?
No. I take a lot of pride in the way that I look and by doing it all natural. So my theory on this, Wendy, is that God made our bodies so amazing and so unique, right? With everything that we need inside us, and the ability to produce anything inside us. So I feel that in the long term, taking a massive amount of supplements actually stops your body from producing, just like it adapts to everything, stops your body from producing what it naturally needs to grow. So for me, for instance, Organic Whey is the only supplement that I've ever really taken. Besides, a couple branched chain amino acids, vitamins, supplements, things like this. But as far as creatine, I have never taken creatine. I feel like it's just a lot of water weight, and the results are not sustainable. So what I teach is for lifelong longevity, lifelong health, and for every positive thing that these supplements do, there's a negative. So if you're taking all kinds of supplements, you're not doing the research, chances are that you're creating long-term damage in the body. I have nothing bad to say about creatine. It's just not for me. I take a lot of pride in, hey, it's a great diet. It's a lot of grass-fed meat, and I just try to give my body everything that it needs.
Are you a fan of carnitine? Because I've heard that's can be helpful for post-recovery and
Yeah,
fat
yeah.
burning and whatnot.
Yeah, so carnitine's great. Carnitine's just another branched chain amino acid. And so, like I said, the L-glutamine and the L-arginine I take, and carnitine is great too. There are things that are going to speed up the process of how you look. But again, if you're in this for the long haul, you're in this for life, it's important to gain the knowledge. And all these supplements that we take, in pill form or powder form, they're actually in our food. So if you start to study nutrition and get in depth with nutrition, and know the foods that you're going to be taking, you can actually take these foods before and after your workouts to get the same effect. We all know that vitamins and minerals from our nutrition are actually absorbed on a deeper level and a more effective level in the body than versus supplements.
Yeah, yeah. So your website is called theactionboss.com. So why do they call you the Action Boss?
Well, I pretty much just had success through massive amounts of action that came with massive amounts of failure. So I just take action every day on several different things. Been on a couple different podcasts lately where they've kind of called me one of the fastest success stories. So just a little bit about where I was. Last April I came out to Southern California with $600 in a backpack. There was actually a time where I was, sleeping on friends' couches, even the beach a couple nights, and I was homeless for 3 weeks, just determined to make it happen. And I tell people all the time, the American dream isn't dead. It's simply changed its shape. Now that we've switched from the Industrial Revolution into the digital technological revolution, it is the largest shift in mankind history, again giving the entrepreneur power. And we all have the ability to go out and run our own business online now without the overhead that we once did. And I just took massive amounts of action, and I started to brand myself kind of as the action boss. I made a magazine cover, the cover of Ryan Lee's magazine, Warrior Magazine. It's an online magazine. And when I made the cover, I believe I sent you the picture, they kind of wrote a statement. It's not about what you say that says who you are. It's about what you do that says who you are. Tyson James Lee, the Action Boss. And ever since that magazine cover, it just kind of stuck. And now I have people messaging me all the time. They're like, hey, boss, what's up, Action Boss? And so it just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
It was one of those things. But I feel like I really put a lot of force behind it by taking massive amounts of action, and going from basically broke and homeless to getting an opportunity to close marketing programs, closed $140,000 worth of deals in about 7 days, bringing in about $14,000 for myself. Then I got hired to run all operations in Marcy Locke Enterprises, to scale her business from 6 figures a month to 7 figures a month. And because of the publicity I was getting and the results that my clients were getting, I felt that it was time to, run my own business again. And that is when I launched TyFit.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about TyFit.
Okay, so TyFit is geared on bringing people the truth about nutrition and fitness. Now, we've learned more about the human body in the last 10 years due to fMRI technology, all kinds of different brain scans, body scans that we now have the ability to use to gain more research than we ever had before. is a fitness industry, Wendy. We're still training people primarily the same way that we did 20 years ago, regardless of all the new information we have. Now, a lot of this information is being done in private labs that are privately funded by people that really have a heart to find more effective ways. Like I said at the beginning, I believe it's, unjust that millions of Americans are spending thousands of dollars to try to achieve the body or health that they want, and they're continuing to fall short. So that's why I created TyFit, was to deliver the truth about diet and exercise to people in the most effective ways. So I had a rare blood infection called rheumatic fever, strep A. I went from 167 pounds to 139 in 2 weeks. The doctor said I was about 8 hours away from losing my life. The only reason that they said I survived was because that I was so strong, fit, and healthy. They were like, you literally owe your life to your fitness. So I kind of took that as, wow, okay, so this is what it is. I was in the hospital for over 4 months. I was in ICU, then the recovery unit. Dropped massive amounts of weight, and it riddled the left side of my body with post-strep rheumatic arthritis. For the first 6 months, after I got out of the hospital, every time I took a step with my left foot, it was like nails shooting in it. I was no longer able to put the stress that I once had in the body. I started like everybody else that, has achieved a remarkable physique, spending 10, 15 hours in the gym, spending 5, 10 hours preparing meals, food, eating very clean. There was a couple things that were wrong with that. One, fitness was all I had in my life. I didn't have a financial game, a relationship game, and other areas of my life were struggling because I was focusing so much attention on this. So I got to find more effective ways to achieve the body that I desire and also the performance that I desire. So that's when I started to get into exercise-induced human growth hormone, and I was amazed that my results were better than before in less amounts of time. Then I blew my L4, L5, and S1, and blew out those discs in my back, was in chronic pain, and for 18 months.
How'd you do that?
Deadlifting, a CrossFit workout called Linda,
Oh my
aka
gosh.
3 bars of death. Yeah. So it was on like the 9th round, and I was deadlifting, and I broke form, and it just, shooting pain right down my back. I was so stubborn, and I had achieved such a level of fitness that I continued to train for about 3 more months, regardless of the pain I was in. I know I wasn't doing myself any benefit. So here I am again, the 6 doctors that I had seen when I was in the hospital said, hey, we're going to work on getting you to walk again. You will probably never be physically active like you once were. I did run a half marathon 6 months after I got out of the hospital, got in the best shape of my life. Then here it comes again with the injury. And I'm thinking, man, what next? It did kind of break me down for a little bit, but then I got back up and I decided that I was going to make another commitment to myself to become bigger and stronger and faster than I ever had. So that's when it led me into injury recovery. And now I teach a lot of clients come to me for injury recovery. They have back, knee, elbow problems, stiff necks, and I am able to. HGH is also very beneficial for pain relief. I'm able to deliver that. And the cool thing about this is, Wendy, is TyFit is like preventative medicine. So if this is all about human health, so you do get anti-aging properties, weight loss properties, muscle gain, less pain, less chance of disease. I'm under the impression that if every American went through TyFit and they followed it to a T, that cancer, Alzheimer's, and degenerative disease would lower by 90% in America. And it is about preventing it. Like, what do they say? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? And so I really, really believe that. So we can get all these people amazing results. And the programs do vary a little bit based on individual needs. But for instance, I have clients that are not able to work out and they're losing massive amounts of weight without exercise. I would never recommend that, but it can be done. And when you're teaching the most effective ways to lose weight and to gain health, these things just happen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, where do I sign up? I want to lose
Ah,
some weight and get some human growth hormone.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
how do people work with you? I mean, you live in Oceanside, so can people work with you
yeah.
personally,
I,
or you're one of the highest paid trainers on the internet, right? I mean, people
yeah.
can
So
work with you on the internet, yeah.
I actually live in Solana now, and people can directly message me on Facebook. You can opt in at theactionboss.com. We send you a free version of my sprint workout. You're able to get that. Now, this was TyFit's been an idea for years, but it was literally okay. I'm going to do this May 10th, and by June 1st, we launched our program and we took on our first 8 clients. Now, I take on 8 clients a month, and we are scaling this thing so it can be more affordable for the rest of the public and for people that don't have, a high income bracket. So it is group coaching. I have a call with my clients, once a week, every Saturday, and then I also set up a half an hour call with them through the week to keep them accountable. We brought on a couple different coaches recently. Travis Dickey, who is about 8 years ago was one of the top 10 in the world for CrossFit. Phenomenal biomechanics, how to exercise, injury recovery as well. So we are scaling this thing. You know, it's expensive to work with me personally, but what I'm doing is I'm bringing in some phenomenal people and phenomenal trainers, and I'm teaching them exactly what I know so that they can run groups as well for a more affordable price. Also, if you're a motivated individual and you feel that it's just the information that you're lacking, we're actually going to sell just the course for TyFit. So right now it's an 8-week course, and it unlocks a day at a time. Day 1, day 2, day 3. Every action step is right there. There's audios. There's over 20 hours of audios in there, different PDFs. Everything is laid out, videos that shows you exactly what gets to be done so that you can achieve your ultimate body of health. When clients come to me for weight loss, my average results are 30 pounds of fat loss in 8 to 12 weeks. I have a lady that has been in the program now for 3 weeks, and she's lost 22 pounds.
Wow. Wow.
Got another guy who is under 200 pounds for the first time since he was in college.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, why do you have anything else that you want to tell the listeners about anything that you do or offer?
Yeah, well, so you can reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook. I'm the only Tyson James Lee. I am incredibly busy, but I'm more than happy to jump on a call with anybody for 15 to 20 minutes and at least point them in the right direction. So out there, if you're not educated in fitness, it can be so tough. 90% of the information out there is garbage, and it's like, fitness magazines, create a new article all the time. I mean, do you think we're really like a whole magazine worth of fitness stuff? Do you really think we're discovering that much stuff every month? No, they're rewriting the articles, twisting them a little bit, so it makes it interesting for the reader. But the fact of the matter is there are things that work and there are things that don't. There are things that kind of work and there are things that are very effective. So I have put together what I call I've cracked the code, so to speak, to human performance. And it targets human health from about 12 different areas, including mindset, health, nutrition, the HGH release, anti-aging, supplements, diet and nutrition, all these different angles. So if my clients do 80% of the work, they're going to get massive results. I don't know a lot of trainers that do this. I actually have a tracking band that my clients wear, so I'm able to see their activity. I offer, yeah, well, and if they stay 80% more accurate on what's expected of them, I offer 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked. So we sign a contract at the beginning that basically states these are the results that I guarantee. If you hold up your end of the bargain, stay 80% on task, and you don't reach those results, we refund you 100%, no questions asked. I believe the value of this course is $10,000. That is not the price point right now, but anytime you can effectively change the course of somebody's entire life, it's at least worth 10 grand. Think about what you're going to be paying if you get cancer. 1 in 3 Americans are, expected to be, infected with cancer. Where else is this beneficial, right? This is an educational course. We don't just tell you what to do. We tell you why we do it and what happens in the body from doing these things. Your children deserve to have this information. Today's children being born, Wendy, are the first generation of children not expected to outlive their parents.
Yeah.
That's so sad. They're not expected. It's not their fault. They don't know. And a lot of the parents don't know how to, educate their children on proper diet and nutrition. So I have clients coming to me, they're like, this isn't just for me. I want to know this information so that my kids have a fighting chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's a travesty, the situation. When I deal with a lot of children myself, and they come to me and they're 4 years old and they have adrenal fatigue and they have so many other health issues. Like they're just, behind the game from the start. So I think it's absolutely important to educate people about how to take care of yourself physically and, with diet and exercise, etc. at a very young age. You have to teach it young and develop good habits. But I have a question I like to ask all of my guests. What do you think is the most pressing health issue in the world today?
It is going to be cancer and heart disease. So cancer, first and foremost, like I said, 1 in 3 people are, expected to be, diagnosed with cancer sometime in their life. So much of the food that we have has so many PCBs, cancer-causing agents. So, for instance, the companies that regulate farmed fish versus wild fish are two different. 25 times the amount of PCBs are allowed in farmed fish versus wild fish. So, for instance, if you were to catch a wild fish and they were to test it and it had 1/25 the trace amount of PCBs that was allowed in farm fish, they would actually consider it unable for human consumption. So that's how much poisonous stuff is in the food that we're eating. The meat company, farmed meat companies right now are in massive litigation. They're under tons of scrutiny. We're about 16 to 18 months away from there being consumer warning labels on farmed meat, just like cigarettes and tobacco, basically stating consumption of this product is going to lead to cancer, heart disease. It's, not great for human health. We're eating it on a daily basis. This is what you get at McDonald's, people.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. We do need warning labels on that meat. It's just so disgusting. People have no idea what they're eating. It's frightening.
Yeah, they don't. So I do believe that the most pressing issue is cancer, but it's the most pressing issue in America is lack of education. Yeah. So that's what I'm here for, is to educate Americans so that they can live a happier, healthier life.
Yeah, and that's why we do what we do, to get people healthier and prevent disease so they can live a long, healthy life. That's exactly why I got into doing this as well. So can you tell the listeners a little bit about where they can find you and learn more about you?
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Facebook, too, Tyson James Lee. I'm the only one. You can go to my website, theactionboss.com. You can put in your email and we will continue to send you, newsletters. And the thing that we're all about is free value. I'm posting massive amounts of videos on my Facebook, on my YouTube channel, things like this, giving away as much value as I possibly can. Just by following me on Facebook, you'll get an amazing education of why we're doing the things that we're doing. And then in the emails that you'll receive from us, we also give you tons of value about the fastest, most effective ways to be the best you.
Yeah, I'm your friend on Facebook. I really enjoy your videos. They're very educational and funny and entertaining. So I love what you're doing.
It's like the mix between education and entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, Tyson, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Awesome. Thank you.
And listeners, if you want to learn more about me, you can find me at live110.com. And you can learn about my online health program, bodybiorehab.com, and learn all about my main program, my healing and detox program, mineralpower.com, that utilizes a hair mineral analysis. Thank you so much for listening to the Live to 110 podcast. AJ, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hey, Wendy, thank you so much for having me.
Well, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and how you got into fitness?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I was a former chubby kid turned personal trainer. I was overweight for most of my life. I mean, I was 60 pounds on my heaviest. I had man boobs, big old chipmunk cheeks, and this huge stomach. And I was really insecure about my weight for many years. And it wasn't until my early 20s when I said enough is enough. I couldn't bear just the pain that I had, both physically and mentally. And I decided to really figure out how to get myself into shape. And I was clueless when I first started because it was, 20 years of being overweight, having bad habits. I would be on a diet for a week and then stuff my face with Oreos and screw everything up.
That's a lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that.
One step forward, one step back. And it wasn't until I hired a personal trainer and a nutritionist and I learned things the right way. And I was like, wow, this is actually working. I'm doing things properly. And about a year's time with professional help, I got myself into shape. I lost the 60 pounds. The chipmunk cheeks disintegrated, and I actually had a six-pack. You know, I was very skinny but lean. And I was like, wow, this is such a big transformation and really changed my life. You know, I had a lot of self-confidence, more energy, but it made me realize that I really want to help others with their own personal transformations. I saw how much fitness just gave me a new world of possibilities. So I decided to go back to school and I majored in exercise science and nutrition. And then I really got the in and outs of understanding the mechanics of like nutrition and biomechanics of the body. And I started a personal training business. And that just took off, you know, because being overweight my entire life, I had a great way of connecting with people. And I understood their pain and how difficult it is to be on a diet and even exercise. So I was able to get some really profound transformations and word got around. And, you know, my business grew from there. And I became so engulfed in understanding the ins and outs of fitness that I went back to school for psychology to get my master's degree. And that was like a game changer. That allowed me to change my program in a very profound way. And then over the years, I did a lot of things with online fitness. I wrote a book called The Mind Body Solution, which became a bestseller. And now just really trying to branch out and spread my personal story of transformation and help more people in the process.
Yeah, so you have a mantra that I really like that we had talked about at some point. So what is your success quote? It's like the mantra that really gets you fired up.
Sure. I had a mentor, and his name is Joe Polish, and he said this one success quote to me, and it changed my life. And it says, "Be willing to destroy anything in your life that is not excellent." And it allows